It's gonna be okay. Hey, welcome everybody back to the Eric and Lynda live show. We're a couple minutes late, but that's all right. Having some technical difficulties, but hey, that's all about technology, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, but we're going to go through with this thing anyway. So we're here 2021 to have a great time and to share some great people with you for this year that's coming up. And I'm Eric.
And I'm Lynda, blue and all. I'm Lynda, here I am. Welcome, you guys. It's our 2021 show, oh my gosh, and season 2. So we're going to have a great show. Yeah, we're going to have a great show. We got some new things out there that we're going to be sharing with you guys, and just to kind of recap on 2020. Yeah, for everybody, it was very challenging, even for us at Workvine. We were able to get through it. We brought to you guys these live shows to share entrepreneurs and, different types of opportunities that would help you in your business and keep you engaged with what we're doing. And so now in 2021, we got some great news. We've even expanded in the 2021. So 2021, we have a Workvine 209 1.0, and now we got a 2.0. And so we've expanded a little bit. And so that's really exciting for us. Come check us out. If you're looking for a co-working space, a place to work remote, come check out Workvine 209. Yeah. So during this show, we're going to play a game. And so we plan on playing more games during our show. And with this game, you can actually win a prize. So I'm just going to explain what the numbers game is that we're going to play at this show. So I'll pick a number, which I have already on this piece of paper that I'm not going to show you. And you're going to pick a number 1 through 50. Pick a number 1 through 50. Later in the show, I'll announce you to submit your number. And then somewhere during the show, I will announce the last chance to enter your number. You want to submit that number when I say submit your number, because the first person that picks the number is the winner of that number. So, and if you pick the same number and somebody picked it before you, you automatically lose because you didn't pick a different number. Anyhow, the number closest to the number that I pick is the winner, and you can't go over the number. And at the end, we'll give the prize to the winner.
Yeah. And so just a couple other things that we want to introduce you to is, we have Workvine 209 and we've done our live shows in 2020. And our 2020 really focused a lot on entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. So this year we've come up with another idea. It's called Workvine Invest. And so what Workvine Invest is we're going to bring people on everywhere in the country to share talk about investment, whether it's real estate investment, whether it's stock market, whether it's where you need to invest your money for retirement. We want to give you an enrichment of investment. So check out Workvine Invest and Workvine 209 Entrepreneurship. It's going to be an exciting year. So we want you to be a part of it.
So we're going to go to commercial. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
Right on top.
So we're going to go to a commercial. Yeah, that's a new segment. We have live commercials. This is great. I'm so excited about it. It's kind of challenging, but it's fun. We're going to have some fun tonight, guys. you guys like that. So yeah, we're marketing our real estate business. We do real estate. We do real estate investments. We'll have some exciting person that's going to be coming on the show and be talking about real estate. And so just to kind of give you guys a heads up and kind of a snapshot of how the show will go, we'll always come in, we'll do some intro, and then we'll break it up into segments. So, our guest for today, this guy, I met him a few years ago. And phenomenal. I mean, I've seen him from early stage investing to, man, this guy is doing some things all across the nation. He's a really powerful, motivational speaker. We had him on the show before, but I thought it would be a great opportunity for him to share more. And why not on our Workvine Invest? And so we like to welcome Jose to the show.
Hey, Jose.
What's up, Jose?
What's going on, guys? I'm glad to be here. Loving the new format.
Yeah, all right. Hey, where are you located right now? Are you in California?
Yeah, I'm in Manteca. I'm in Manteca right now. Yeah, this is where I reside currently.
All right, because I know, man, I watch you and I follow you on social media, man, and I'm seeing you like in Hawaii and Mexico and Florida doing deals all around the country.
Yeah, really we've been back and forth in Florida, the Tampa area. That's an area of interest for us for obvious reasons, right? And so, I'll kind of tap into that a little bit tonight as well.
All right. So how did you get started, Jose?
How did I get started? Well, I mean, it's kind of been an interesting journey, right? When I kind of taken it a little bit before that, I'm originally from the Bay Area. We moved to Modesto when I was about 8. And my passion and everything that I've learned throughout this that kind of stems from was my involvement in sports, right? That was always my passion. That was always something that I saw myself doing. And what's interesting about that is that's what really laid the foundation of hard work, persistence, being coachable, things that are really vital in entrepreneurship, right? And so when I was younger, that was kind of where I thought I was going, but being a professional, sports player doesn't always pan out the way we think it's going to. Yeah. So my first exposure to entrepreneurship was actually flipping cars at 17, right? My mother told me that I couldn't drive, so I decided to buy a car instead and flip it, right? I didn't have a license, but I had my first car, right? And that was my first exposure to entrepreneurship. But when you're 18, what does society tell us? You go to work or you go to school, you get a job, right? And you live a good life and you retire. Well, my first job when I was 18 was mopping floors at a welding shop, right? And I worked my way up to learn welding, fabrication, CNC, but I realized that I would never make 6 figures even doing that. And so we started looking at other opportunities, and I was like, if I could flip cars, why can't I flip houses? That was my mindset, right? It's most of our limitations of why we can or can't do something is based on ourselves. Right. Yeah. And that's a really important thing for anybody who's interested in real estate or getting into any endeavor in entrepreneurship is whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And then it goes around surrounding yourself with the right people. So I connected with a group of investors who are playing at a higher level than me, right? If you hang around 4 broke people, you'll be the 5th, right? So for me, it was a natural inclination. I was 21, 22 years old, and I'm in a room of 100 people that are all 40 years and older. And I'm like, if these guys can do it, I was like, for sure I could do it. And that was when I really stepped in when I was 22 years old, still working at a job, starting real estate part-time. That was my initial starting at 22.
So what did that look like? I know for the people and the viewers that are listening and they're working a regular everyday job, how much time does it take to, be a real estate investor?
Right. So I guess I would say it depends, right? And that's a lot you'll hear in investing, but it depends on how do you want to build it, right? Do you want to make real estate like a business, or do you want to make it as a retirement, something where you buy 1 house a year, 2 houses a year? Because that's a different type of energy it's going to take, right? So the first thing I tell people is you have to be self-aware. How do you want your life to look like? What kind of income do you want? I mean, do you really want to be flipping a bunch of properties at once? Or would you rather have cash flow where you're making $10,000 a month, whether you work or not? So it does. If you're starting out with no knowledge, it's going to be a learning curve. It's going to take some energy and some effort. You got to think of this as a marathon, not a sprint, right? Wealth is, we're in this for the longevity of it, right? How many people do we know who make a ton of money and go broke in a couple months? Yeah. So I would say, you could really start 6 to 10 hours a week, part-time. I mean, I was going, 4 hours after work every day, answering calls, but I wanted to build it differently where this sufficed all my income. So it depends on where you guys at, but what you put in is what you're going to get out, right?
Yeah. So
where did you start? Like, what was the first thing you did after you decided to be a real estate investor? What was the first thing you did?
First thing I did was I got educated, right? You don't know what you don't know. So I was obsessed of learning real estate. I was obsessed of learning the terminology, analyzing numbers, because in investing, we're buying numbers, not houses. Anybody can buy a piece of property. Now we're looking for a deal, right? So there's two separators. So first I educated and then I took action. You know how some guys, we put things together without an instruction manual, you just go for it. And you kind of have to have that a little bit. You gotta learn enough, and then you go out there and take action. You're gonna learn a lot more. You might fall and scrape your knees, but you don't want to just sit there and do nothing. So I started taking action, just talking to people, putting myself out in the industry. I came with no resources, no connections, nothing. So you can start by just getting acclimated to creating relationships and cultivating those, to put your name out there, to get yourself familiar, and to put yourself in a position when an opportunity does arise. So I took action, learned, educated myself, took action, surrounded myself with the right people, and then network. That was the first thing I did, starting out, having no resources or contacts.
Wow, that's really cool.
I think even before that, you must have had a passion. So you had to you know what? I think I could do it. So you had to tell yourself, I know I could be a real estate investor because I did it with cars. And like you said, now you want to do it with houses. So that inspired you to start taking the steps to get to where you are now. And so how long have you been doing this?
So I started learning and investing when I started studying at 22, started actually investing at 23. But very mom and pop-ish, if you will, like 1-2 deals, nothing crazy. 2017 is when I decided to go full-time in the business because the job I was at let me go, and then they tried to rehire me, right? For whatever reasons. And I said, you give me a perfect opportunity here. I was 25 years old at the time. I was like, why not go for it, right? And so 2017 is when we start hitting our 6-figure years, and we've had multiple companies since then. So I started in December 2013, learning real estate, really took off 2017 when I started to really dial it in, right?
Yeah, there's no mom and pop in that. 23, that's not mom and pop. That's, a young innovator. So
thank you.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, great job, man. So getting started, right? Did you ever have this dream of what you wanted out of this? And can you maybe speak to what that looks like as far as, because, there's certain people who, may not know how to dream, and you ask them, well, what do you want? Well, I don't know. Right. I mean, what can you tell those individuals to spark something to start dreaming of wanting to take something to the next level like you did?
I think that's a really good question, Eric, because I'm sorry if you hear the animals in the background, but the real thing, it starts back to what I initially said, right? You have to be self-aware, right? You should really a lot of people don't take time understanding themselves and what they truly want. Is it that you really want a lot of money, or is it that you want to be comfortable and not have to worry about it, right? Or is it that you want the freedom? So when I came into it, I think like most people, and I've only been working for 4 years, I was sick and tired of having a boss. Oh my goodness, right? Like, you're telling me when I have to be here, how much I can make, and I have a cap and a limit, right? And so that right there was enough for me, because freedom and independence is a huge part of just who I am as a character. So time freedom was the huge motivating factor. right? It's funny. I looked at this paper I drew my goals on, what I wanted, and it was a long time ago. And it was like, why am I in this business? I was like, not have a boss, time freedom, not have to wake up to an alarm clock. That's I had no money goals. It was nothing like that.
Yeah.
Time was a huge factor for me. We could always make more money. We're never going to get more time. And that was a huge factor for me.
That's right, man. So, I want to talk about strategies.
You want to take a commercial?
All right, my boss. She said I must take a commercial.
So we go to a commercial. That's what we're going to do.
We're going to go to commercial break real quick. So run and go get you some water, use the bathroom, whatever you got to do. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about different strategies in real estate investment. How about that? All right. We'll be right back. Hi, and we're back. How about one more commercial? Shout out to I hope you guys are liking these commercials. These commercial breaks are kind of cool.
Yeah. So Eric is getting trigger happy, but we do have a producer in the background. So please do our commercials because he's messing it all up. He's just so excited. I don't know.
You got a new toy.
I mean, this is like real deal stuff right here.
No, they look on point. They look really good.
Yeah, and we're excited about it. I mean, we're doing something different and we're trying to make a change and make a difference. And so let's jump right into the different types of strategies that you use and that someone who is looking to get started in real estate investment can use.
Yeah, no, so that's a really good question, right? And it really goes back to, we talked about self-awareness and understanding where you're at and utilizing your resources, your current situation. You don't necessarily have to have a ton of money or a ton of resources like I did when same as when I started. So there's really these four main big strategies. There's a bunch of sub strategies, but they all lead to these top four. Okay. So the first one is wholesaling. Okay. This is a great way if you don't have any money, or little capital. You might need to spend a little bit for some supplies or what have you. But wholesaling is a really great way to start out and build capital. This is how we started out. And basically what that means is you're going to essentially lock down a piece of property with a contract, and you're going to assign your rights to an end buyer for a fee. So for example, I find a property from Lynda, you need to sell it. I put it under contract for 200. I sell it, my contract interest to Eric for 215. He actually buys the property. I make 15 grand. You see it? Does that make sense? So you're really assigning paper. You're not buying real estate. So this is a great way to practice. It also is about 80% of the work, right? It takes a lot of work on the front end, but you get paid at closing. The second one would be fix and flip, right? We all hear about that. That's the big sexy one. And that's going to be kind of that end buyer. So in our example that I just used, Eric, you would be the fix and flipper, right? Because Lynda was the seller, I was the wholesaler, fix and flipper, right? That takes more time, right? That takes more management, that takes teams. Now, luckily, we have a construction division in our company that we could build it from the ground up for you guys. So we streamline that process to make it really simple, because I understand how hard it is to work with contractors at time, right? So we have wholesaling, we have fix and flip, right? The third one is going to be buy and hold or rental properties, cash flow, dividends, right? Paper real estate, things like that, notes and stuff. The fourth one is the big one, is the private lending. Private lending on deals. We work with a lot of private lenders to help them retire earlier, right? Not only am I helping a seller sell her property, I'm renovating it, helping the community, but my private lenders are now going to be able to retire faster because of that. So with wholesaling, there's a lot more time involved, less profit, but no capital, right? Fix and flip, more time, more money, more profit. Rentals or buy and holds is going to be a passive monthly cash flow stance. And then private lending, you just lend the money and your hands off. So you can see where the risk starts to change, but also with time. So it goes back to look at where you're at. Maybe you don't have all the time in the world, but you have some resources with money and credit. You could joint venture with other individuals who have the time, right? Or maybe you have time, but you don't have any resources. So what are you going to do? You're going to go out there and locate properties and make wholesale fees. Yeah. So there's so many different ways. So I freaking love real estate, because there's so many ways to create revenue inside of this and really just, change your life, right? And so those are the main four. We do a bunch of different other things, but ultimately they lead to one of those strategies. So if you know all these strategies, you can be a lot more effective rather than a one-trick pony, right? Yeah. If you're just starting out, majority of people, wholesaling is the way to go, for sure. Right.
So as a wholesaler, I mean, you're not having to come in with a lot of money. So those of you who are watching and you may want to become an investor, you may want to start learning about wholesaling, because you're just pretty much having to pay for marketing materials and stuff like that, and maybe a little bit of your time. And, you could probably, in the beginning, you could do one wholesale deal every couple months.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, in this, and especially in our market, depending where you guys are at, but we're in California, right? Versus some other areas in the country, these wholesales can be very lucrative. I've seen people make 6 figures on wholesale deals in Bay Area, right? Or locally. So that's a great way to start out with people, just getting started in there. Majority of it is your time, right? That's going to be the big thing. But there's a few things where you definitely want to make sure you're getting educated and you're not just going out there locking up properties without any intention of actually helping that seller, right, to close that deal. Because I also see that as a lot, and I don't condone that. If you're going to get in there, you do everything to help that seller and, do what you can. So that's why we also come from a place of, if we can't wholesale it, we'll just buy it ourselves, right, with those combinations. So that's why it's important we get educated on how to run these numbers and put in right offers, so we're not wasting anybody's time or messing up the market, right?
Yeah.
Wow. It sounds like you have to really educate yourself on all of them, really. But I want to talk about, when we come back from our break, I want to talk about, are you building teams? Do you have a source to help educate? We want to let the listeners know of how they can start. And I'm not sure if you build teams. I'm pretty sure you do. And how that works. And stuff.
Yeah, no, I got a few different things, which I'll basically share how I got started and how I did it. And I can give resources to help anybody out for sure.
Definitely. And so we're going to go to another commercial, and we're going to let our producer click the commercial boxes. And so, but before we go on to our commercial, this is a time where I'm going to tell you to enter your number 1 through 50, put it in the chat, and we're going to start the game off. So,
quick question. Am I allowed to put a number in, or?
Absolutely.
No, yes. He's seen it. No, yes. He's seen it.
No.
Oh, okay. I just, I look for any competitive advantage.
So, for those of you who may have missed it early on, we're having a game called Numbers Up. And so you pick a number between 1 and 50, you put that in the chat, and the closest person to that number without going over or getting that number is the winner. You will win a prize. And you just direct message us on our Facebook, and we'll email you a Amazon gift card. And so we're doing giveaways. We're bringing people in to educate you, to make you some money, invest and learn. And man, I'm excited. This is like fun.
You know, I feel bad. I feel so bad. So you know what? We're going to send you a consolation guest.
All right. So hope you guys are getting your numbers in. I'm seeing some numbers pop up in there. Wow. They're coming. All right.
So let's go to commercial.
We're going to go to commercial break. We'll see you in a minute. Woo! I hope you guys are loving these commercials. They are so cool. Check out Shell T. She is a great, phenomenal marketer, and she is doing some phenomenal work behind the scenes. So,
counselor and pastor and referee between us. So thank you, Shell T.
So, I hope everybody's got their numbers in. If you got your numbers in,
we're not going to do that yet.
Not going to do the number game yet. We're not going to announce the winner yet.
We're going to talk more about how to get involved. And I'd like Jose to take the time to say, talk about teams, talk about what you can do for the people out there.
Yeah, for sure. I'll just hit on it again, right? Who you hang around with is going to, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. You hang around 4 broke people, you'll be the 5th, right? So I highly encourage, I went through the steps of getting connected into a community of investors, of people playing at a higher level than me, right? I really owned into that. They offered education and all those different types of things. And I have a lot of great tools and resources that I could share with people how I did it. I have no problem exactly how I did it, right? I just literally followed the steps, got educated, surrounded myself with people, and then I went for it. And so anybody who wants to reach out to me, they'll show the contact info. I'm more than willing to provide any value that I can. And, guys, show you pretty much how I went through it.
Yeah. So education is key. Would you advise, what type of education would someone who wanted to get started? Because you can Google real estate investment, and man, a million different types of education come up, from $100 to $100,000. So how do you know how to choose the right one?
Yeah, for sure. Here's the thing, right? Everybody that I learned from, the interesting thing about social media is it's who are you listening to? I'm somebody who's still in the trenches. By any means, I don't have everything figured out. I'm grinding it out every day, building brick by brick the empire. So I'm coming from a place of mistakes, of experiences, and those type of things. So what I would suggest is there is a lot of great content out there. I'm not going to knock content, but be conscious of who you're taking the advice from. Do they have the life that you want? Are they doing the results that you want? So I made it a point of emphasis that everybody I learned had to make 7 figures net that year in whatever they're teaching, right? If you're making 7 figures and you're doing it consistently, there's probably some magic to it, right? Or not, I wouldn't say magic. There's some proof in the pudding, right? And so I would say always be conscious of who you're intaking information from. Because some of the information too could get you in trouble. It changes, real estate changes every year, right? Some of these laws and some of these things. So just something to be aware of.
Yeah. So would you advise someone to kind of look for a mentor?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, that's I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people, mentor can be in different things. We can get mentors from reading books, right? Like I have somebody, a gentleman who passed away years ago, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, all these different books that I can be mentored by reading their content, right? So for sure, I have a bunch of mentors, right? Jim Rohn, some that's still living and some that aren't. So 100%, I have a coach as well that for business and personal, right? Because I learned from coming from that sports background, it really helps me to see things that maybe I'm not seeing, help me identify, mastermind, and collaborate. So I do recommend getting around people, mentorship, coaching, all that stuff, 100%.
Do you recommend, or can I ask what platform you're using for your real estate investment?
Platform as far as like my systems and tools, or like to get educated? Which platforms?
Oh, let's give them both out there.
Yeah, for sure. So I have multiple platforms. I have multiple softwares that helps me make my job a lot easier with my team. Some of the ones I use are I use CallRail for calling systems, right? I use a digital marketer for my online marketing and stuff like that. I use a manager for that. I have a iOS. It's called Renata's iOS system. It's one of these communities that I'm involved with. It's a pure real estate management software. It really helps me do it. And I also go to these events that I'm connected with the community. They do monthly events, different things for education, and also an online platform where I can watch 24/7. So I have a combination. Over the years, I really, once I took on self-awareness and learning what my weaknesses were, right? Because our business is never going to outgrow us personally, right? Your leadership, your communication, your skills. And so I've invested a lot in training, education. And so, I have tons of content that I tap into.
So could you just get, and I know you named a couple books, what would say be your maybe top 3 books that you would want? I know there's a lot. I know Napoleon Hill.
Yeah. For me, well, the last book I've read twice in a row now, it's called Letting Go by David Hawkins. That helps me with emotional literacy, if you will, right? Understanding your leadership roles. Business can be very reactive in times and overwhelming. And when you're in that state, you're not going to be very productive, right? So that book has really helped me and keep in an even state, or raising my consciousness and levels. And then Think and Grow Rich is a huge one. The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. Schwartz is a huge one as well. And then another book I just went through that I highly recommend is called Profit First by Michael Kwiatkowski, something like that. But that's when you make money in business, but then you realize where's all the cash went because you spent it all on expenses, right? Yeah. So we talk about it's not all about just making money. It's how can I make it? How can I manage it? And then how can I grow it? So those are the 3 books that I've focused on within this last quarter.
Is there a investments for dummies book out there? I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but I mean, some of what we're talking about, we've kind of talked several times, but for those individuals who really think and believe that they want to be an investor, right? But when you start talking about fix and flip and wholesale, it may be foreign to them. And so right. They may want to just start off with some of the real simple basics just to kind of engage them. What would you say? I mean, is there, something that's really simple for the beginners?
There's going to be a couple books out there on wholesaling and stuff. My buddy or gentleman I would recommend, he has a book called, what is it called? His name's Carlos Reyes. It's either under his name as the author, and it's called Best Wholesaling Book Ever, I believe. It's very simple. And then I also have events we do monthly, and we have a virtual events right now where it goes over real basics of real estate as well. So I'll be more than happy to share some of those links with your viewers and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
That's a good question, and I wish I had a better answer for you, but I didn't start with that's the best one I can give at this point.
Actually, we did do something with you before COVID, and we played the that game. That was cool. You made it fun. Yeah. So hopefully you could bring. Are you going to bring that back? That game?
Yeah, we're hoping. We're excited too. I definitely miss meeting up with people and interacting and stuff like that. But what we had was it's Cash Flow 101. It's by Robert Kiyosaki, right? The gentleman of Rich Dad Poor Dad. And that's really great because it teaches you the fundamentals of how to first your income and expenses, then how to invest in real estate through a board game. And the way we played it was more realistic. We would do negotiations. We would do all type of things. So we're hoping in the future, definitely in person. We can't really do it virtually, right? And so I do think and believe it. I'm glad you brought that up. That is a really good way on an entry level just to get some financial literacy, real estate knowledge, negotiation tactics, skills sets, and stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, and we did role playing. It was really fun. It was like real life skills, and you
learn a lot.
Yeah,
you learn enough.
Yeah, we had fun, and then the pizza doesn't hurt either, right?
Yeah. So would you say even for those beginners to start networking? I know there's not a lot of networking in person, but you guys have your meetups, and so maybe they can take a look at what you guys are doing and go maybe to meet up and look at other investing networking groups to be a part of. And like you said, you want to be around people who are doing it right now, who are investing to learn and get educated.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely. I mean, even just this platform, I see all the people commenting and whatnot, right? Reach out to people that are in these videos, reach out to people that have similar interests. Facebook right now and LinkedIn and these social media sites, a lot of people are using them for networking, right? And so don't be afraid to put yourself out there and don't be afraid of where you're at. I would much rather you be honest and tell me, hey, I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to make it happen. Can you give me some feedback, this and that, rather than, oh yeah, I got it down. And yet we can, everybody knows, right? So people will be more willing if you're transparent and open and coachable. I am, and I know a lot of other investors, a lot of people are much successful because they had the same journey, right? When you've gone through the struggle, you can appreciate it and you're willing to help people because you had the same thing happen to you. So come from some transparency. I know before I ever did my first real estate deal, I had a lot of investors fooled that I was seasoned just because I spent a lot of time owning on my craft and also, really focus on asking effective questions, practice asking effective questions so that when the opportunity arises to talk to somebody, you're not trying to figure out what to say, right? And, you put yourself out there and able to be a little bit more effective.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's really good.
It's a lot of great information. Like, is there anything you'd like to tell the viewers today? Anything inspirational, anything like you want a call to order or that's it. Call to action.
Well, what I would say, what I can leave people with is this: it really all, and to put it to its simplest terms, is it really starts with a decision or a commitment, right? If you truly decide or commit to do something, whatever that's real estate, whatever endeavor that might be for you, making that decision and cutting off all other options, you will see tremendous things aligning to help you fill your goals, right? So making a decision, whatever that looks like, being okay with where you're at, being honest with yourself, working on the things that you need to improve. The three main areas would be your skills, your habits, and your mindset. Okay. If you focus on those three things, you get really clear on where you're trying to go, right? We talked about clarity. If you're really clear, you're going to get there a lot faster. You can't hit a target you can't see. And so I want you to think big when it comes to your goals, but I want you to think small when it comes to your progress, right? A lot of people overestimate just the compound effect, doing it day in and day out. And the one thing you can ask anybody, the difference, one of my highest qualities is my persistence. Sometimes I'm a slow learner. Sometimes I'm hard-headed and it takes me a couple times, but for sure I'm going to figure out and we're going to get it done. And that's the mindset I came into real estate because I've had many opportunities to quit. I've had many opportunities to throw in the towel. Things don't go your way. 2020 was quite an interesting year, especially March and February. Grateful that things worked out the way they did. but that's just going to be part of it. So make that decision, cut off all other options, think big with your goals, think small with your progress, and have faith, and everything will work out.
That's
Wow.
it. You heard it from Jose himself. And I love these. I wrote down a whole bunch of notes
Think
because
big with your concept.
Yep. No, think
But-
big with your goals,
Goals.
think small with your progress. You don't know how to write good notes, but anyway, I wrote it down.
Well, that's why you guys are a great team, right?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I'm gonna repeat some of the stuff you said later in the show because it was so awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
man.
it, love it, love it.
Well, hey, Jose, man, we really appreciate you coming on and sharing. For those of you wanting to get started, reach out to Jose. His Facebook is in the chat. You can click on his link. His meetup is there. I'll drop his email also in the chat for you guys to reach out to him. Stay connected with us. And I think you got a winner here, probably, huh?
Yeah. But we're gonna go to commercial.
Oh,
Follow the script.
We're
Anyways,
to commercial.
Jose, thank you for kicking off our second season of Work Fine, Eric and Lynda Live. We appreciate you. We think you're a dynamic investor, and we want to bring you back and be looking forward for that consolation guest speaker. It'll come to
Prize.
you. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Let's
Hey,
do it.
let's do some deals together.
Yes.
Do it, man. Yeah, we eating them up, man. Send them my way. Construction deals, real estate deals, partnerships. We're ready. We're eating them up right now, full force. So we're ready. Thank you guys for having me on here. I'm excited to come back next time. And to all your guys viewers, make sure you tap into their show every week.
All
Yes.
right.
Thank
you,
you,
brother.
Jose.
All right, you guys have a good one.
You
You
too.
too.
Thank you.
And
Boom,
we're back.
man. We're back. Wow. That
And we
was
have a
awesome.
winner. We have a winner. You want to announce the winner?
Do we have a winner?
Yeah, we
Who
have
is
a
our winner? Let's see. What's our number?
Oh yeah, that's right. Let me show you what the number is.
We didn't change the number, but we're going to show you the number. And let me see if I got a winner. That's the number, 25. And it looks like Mary Connors is the winner.
He
Cool.
really has fun with that. Yes.
Wow.
So Mary Connor, please DM us and with your email address, and we will send over that $10 Amazon card. It'll grow one day. But
Yes.
right now it's $10 Amazon card.
Yeah,
Coming your
free
way.
money every week. You know, who doesn't want free money? I do. If it's free, right? Uh-oh. All right.
Okay.
Wow. So this was a really great session. And we just want to thank you guys for coming out. Just kind of a recap, of what Jose talked about. I mean, how he got started when he was selling, cars and flipping cars and, moving from flipping cars to getting himself educated and starting to do real estate investment deals. I mean, so, whatever it is, whatever mindset that or things that you want, you can do it. And I used to say that last year, like, yeah, you can do it. Never give up, be motivated and take charge. And like he said, think big goals, but think small progress, which is really good. Really good.
And just to recap, there's a couple things that he said. The 4 types: wholesaling, fix and flip, which is the really sexy part of the investing, and buy and hold, which is rental properties, and private lending. So those are the 4 different types of investing that he talked about in real estate investing. But the 3 things that you do need to build in your portfolio is the skill and build a habit and have a great mindset to practice real estate investing.
Yeah. So go out, find your mentor, get educated, and do whatever it takes to be successful. I was reading something the other day, actually, I have it here, and it was like, a lot of times the challenges for a lot of people is they're afraid. And so, just know that fear is temporary, but regret is permanent. And so, it's okay to be afraid, and we can overcome those things. But, there's so many people that, aren't with us that, have regret. And, that's permanent. You can never take that back. So, yeah. Man, great.
He did say one other thing. He said, if you hang around 4 broke people, you'll be the 5th. I think we should change it around to say, if you want to be a millionaire, you got to hang around with millionaires. If you want to be a great investor, you got to hang around with 4 great investors, you'll be the 5th. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Let's change it up to something positive. Let's, I don't want to be a broke person. I know I'm not broke. No. But anyhow.
Yeah, that's a very good comment, because, find 4 millionaires to hang out with, find 5 investors to hang out with, and you become that 5th, right? Yeah, I like that. I don't know. Any millionaires out there watching? I want to start hanging out with you. Yes. So as we wrap up, I know the show is really exciting. It's new feel to it, and we're trying to adjust to it. And we just want to thank everybody for coming and watching and sharing and commenting. And so every week we'll give away some type of prize to the winners, and we want to just keep you guys engaged. If there's some type of investments or someone who may want to participate or be a part, there's a little vetting process where we can interview them and talk to them and see, if they're a good fit, if we're a good fit for each other, to be able to share the knowledge and the wealth of information to help our community and help our people grow and advance and to change.
So the format is going to be, we'll be on every Tuesday at 6 p.m. And I believe it's the 2nd and 4th. What are we on? The 2nd and 4th Tuesday is real estate, and the 1st and 3rd is entrepreneurs. So next week we're going to have somebody talk about entrepreneurships and how to start a business, or somebody that's in there that wants to give some encouragement to our viewers, or tell you how to start your own business and shed some light. So that's coming up next week, and we hope you join us for that and our game again. And we plan on having more games, different games too. I want to have a game every quarter, giving away a bigger prize with some of our guests. Maybe it's somebody that does photography and that wants to give photo shoots. We had ours professionally done, and I think he's magnificent. So we'll start sharing all the people that we use in our pipeline. Shell T, we got to give a shout out to her, who helped us bring this all together, and does our once a week counseling session with Eric and I when we
I don't know what she's talking about.
I'm kidding. We love each other. Yes.
Yeah. It's all good. But just share, maybe some of the topics you like to hear. Work Mind Invest is not just about real estate investment, but it's also about stocks and bonds and retirements and how you can save your money better. And so we want to just be that conduit to bring you valuable information that's going to help you grow and help make a difference and leave a legacy for your family. I mean, something that, I didn't have, but a lot of people have. And so we're on that track, and we're on the path to leave a legacy for our kids. I also want to spend some of that legacy too before I get out of here. But anyway, find 5 millionaires, start hanging around them, and become the 6.
He changed the numbers.
That's all right.
Yep. Anyhow,
all right.
Thank you guys for watching. We're going to close out with a couple commercials and credits, and we hope to hear from you and give us some feedback. Tell us what we can do to be better, or if you know anyone that wants to be on a show, shoot us a message, and keep in contact with us.
Yeah, and Mary Connor, make sure you send us that message so you can get your winnings. All right. Thank you, guys. And we're going to commercial. All right, Workvine is where we make it happen. See you next week.